shore, looking sick, whip hella clean. That armor raw, got my tires shining on bling. I'm rolling on 24s in a photo. Them deep dish rims, reason why I'm going slow. Pulled out of rallies, headed right north on the shore. Hopping traffic to avoid the motherfucking law. Styrofoam cup in my car full of drink. Pockets got bread in my lungs, hella dank. 91 up in the tank, bout to hit 100. Dual exhaust pipes loud, sounding like thunder. Big motor underneath, cause I do it big. Chrome underneath the seat, cause I be the shit. It's like a must, hit the Shaw on a Friday night. Hit a club up if the shit looking right. First and foremost, gear looking top notch. Avoid drama, don't stay till them things pop. Fettuccine is my nickname, real shit. The streets change. What's up, man? Welcome back to another explosive episode. Scorching Streets, Scorching Politics, where the heat outside ain't got nothing on what's going on behind the scenes. So, right now, LA is boiling over, not just from the summer sun, but from what's happening in our communities, our politics, and our borders. Border patrols popping up in the heart of the city. What's really going on out here? Is this about national security, or is just another cover-up dressed in uniform? That's what some people ask. Some folks say it's staged. Others say it's a test run for something bigger, overseas, distractions, election year theater. We're asking the real questions they don't want us asking. Meanwhile, our neighbors and neighborhoods stay underserved, overlooked, and some places may be over policed. They telling us to stay cool, but how do we keep calm when the pressure keep rising? So that's the question to ask. But we back here live again. I got brother Russ in the building with us. What's the word, Russ?
All right, man. Happy to be here. Just another day, another dollar.
Yeah, man. Real talk, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. So shit. I just want to dive into it. Like sometimes, like I sit back. I just wonder, like, how much of what we seeing is real. And how much of this is like a theater. 1 minute we're told 1 minute they telling us like the borders are secure. The next minute, there's federal agents on our street corners. Like it's a movie. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. So, some questions asked like, how did we go from local housing crisis, the helicopters flying over, low over South Central, why now? Why here? All of a sudden well, we know why here and why now. Our president already said he was going to do certain things, and hey, you can't lie, man. I mean, not saying it's a good thing to, but not saying it's a good or bad thing, but he been doing what he said he was going to do, and so I don't know why some people are getting surprised, But I mean, but you got to peep the timing. All this starts heating up right before, like election cycles. I mean, we just had a big presidential election, but you got other stuff coming up, governor races, stuff like that on the West Coast. So it's other little stuff to worry about too. So it's a lot of stuff heating up. We're going to be looking for a governor here soon in California. That's something to keep in mind. Mrs. Kamala Harris, she's said to be running for governor. So that could be a benefit. Some people like Gavin Newsom, but I don't think he can run no more. His terms are up or something like that. So it wouldn't be bad having somebody like Kamala Harris as a governor, somebody who has a law degree. Some people may criticize her. You have your own opinion, but I will say this, just off education wise, I don't know too many like idiots that have law degrees. So I'll just let that set in. Meanwhile, communities like, the real front line, dealing with no AC, stuff like that. That's just some stuff you deal with, in the scorching streets. You don't have AC sometime in the schools, folks losing homes, groceries going up while wages are still stuck, stuff like that. But they expect us to just scroll past all this because a new handle drop every 10 minutes. Like, nah, man, that well, that ain't how we gonna move on this show. We ain't finna do that. But what I'm saying, Russ, just saying, man, like everything is really getting hot, man. Some things that are beneficial right now, hearing that there's a possible ceasefire that's going to take place with overseas, them scorching politics heating up, because I mean, hey, that could be possible start of World War III.
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's very true, shit.
Some people don't pay attention to that. That's why I say you don't have to fully pay attention to politics or even watch the news, but I recommend you, every now and then pay some kind of attention. You ain't got to watch it on TV. Go get a newspaper and read about it.
Who has a newspaper?
What you say?
Who has a newspaper anymore?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a real note, let's talk about the distraction for a second. You ever notice how whenever the economy starts to crumble, or when the people start asking too many questions, like boom, here comes a new crisis?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's all strategic. War brings in money too. So conflict is profit. So they benefit when we are in conflict.
Yeah.
A lot of these military providers who provide arms to the services, man, they are cleaning up now as they gear up for a war. Shit. So it's a big boost to their economy.
Well, some people, like I say, some people don't pay attention to none of that stuff at all, man. That's just like along will come with that is, maybe the possibility of a new villain, something that come about stuff like that. And, a new villain tends to pop up sometime. What you think about that?
Ooh, a new villain besides Donald Trump?
Just say in general, like when, there's always some kind of conflict in whatever countries is starting, sometime they get painted as a new villain.
Well, I mean, I really can't. I don't put too much credence in how they try to paint things, because they will manipulate the facts to pretty much show whatever they wanted to show. They'll paint somebody or a country as some type of villainous nation who doing all these civil rights violations, or they're horrible to their citizens, and the shit might be totally untrue.
Yeah.
So they just make the narrative to support whatever their goal is.
Yeah, I mean, well, something more locally that we've been seeing, like suddenly the border out of control. But I mean, it wasn't a national emergency, when our people were sleeping in tents and stuff like that. Just saying, so I mean, some of this stuff is getting a lot more attention, like when our people were sleeping in tents, down on the block for the past 5 years, like the homeless crisis is still a big problem. And it seems like they don't pay no attention to that. And predominantly homeless people in California are black. So we saying like some of this stuff is getting more attention than a lot of stuff. What's up, Cool Daddy? What's the word?
What's happening, fellas? I'm in this thing.
All right,
that's what's up, man. What do you think about this, Cool Daddy? Now we got politicians flying down to the border for photo ops, but not one of them is showing up for like other little stuff prior to that. But now that you got this going on where they like chasing people everywhere, do you think that's real or legit, or that's just the photo op? Exactly what it is.
Oh, he lost him, huh? Or he just dropped.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What you think about that though? You think that's just a photo op or what, man? Like seeing these politicians go down there?
I mean, I think it is a lot of action being done, as far as this ICE enforcement. But for the politicians to go out there and show up on the scene while the cameras are there, that's
hello. Hold on, I'm gonna come back.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I would just say that's something that I seen down there, but it just amazes me, what I'm saying, because well, all of a sudden, like this is a big issue for them, and it's all about safety. Well, are they trying to say that the last legislation didn't care about our safety, or what?
Well, I missed the question on that one.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. What was the question again?
Yeah, no, just saying, like you got politicians, showing up now that Border Patrol are like really out there in the cities and stuff doing things. Now you got politicians coming to certain places taking photo ops out there. Do you think that's the only thing it is, just a photo op? People saying, where were they at before this?
Yeah, it's a photo op. I didn't really realize the full extent of the problem until like the last year or so I started looking at the actual footage for what was going on at the border here in Texas and Arizona, even California. And they had the Democrats told the Border Patrol they couldn't arrest nobody. They were actually cutting open the fence and letting thousands of people in. I thought it was just a myth that the Republicans were saying or conservatives were saying. But no, they literally were. They had non-government organizations set up down there to feed them, get them clothes. They would direct them to buses, and they would fly them to whatever city they wanted to go to, giving them thousands of dollars on cards. And when they got settled in the city, giving them work passes, giving them down payments to buy houses, all this with no citizenship, no social security number. So they weren't concerned then, you know. It's a political move, I guess, because they don't like the current president. They trying to tug at our heartstrings, but it's more than just, I understand you care for human beings. They show mamas crying and babies being removed from their family. We human, so we're going to feel bad. But you got to think about the impact on society. Now, if you come here legally, there's no issue with that. But these people were actually flooding the United States. And if it wasn't a stop, it would have went from like, what is that, 13, 15 million came in 4 years. It was just going to continue every day. Every day, man. You got to go look at the footage yourself. Don't just go on what people say. Go study that, and it will shock you the amount of people that were coming in here. You know, it's not like, see, we've been used to hearing about illegal immigrants since we were young, but that was really only a handful. So many coming, they are displacing whole communities. You know, it's like gentrification on a different type of level. They coming in, and cities that didn't even have one Mexican in it is 40, 50% Hispanic now, you know. And when will we understand that it's really a numbers game that they're playing? When they outnumber us 200 to 1 in our city, 300 to 1 in our city, 400 to 1, then we say, well, we got to do something about it. No, you have to be able to see the trend, where it's trending, what's happening. And it's not fair with the limited amount of resources that we have here for those resources to go to folk who ain't supposed to be here. How does it affect you? Number one, it affect your property taxes, because we have to let them in school. You know, they children, we have to let them, the class size. I was a teacher for 7 years. The class sizes are doubling, tripling. You get 45 kids in the school, in the classroom. I mean, you can't really focus. You're dealing with discipline problems all day. And over half the class, they ain't supposed to be there. You understand? Anyway, I ain't gonna go on too long. But what I'm saying, if they cared about what was going on when we were being flooded, it wouldn't have led to this, you know. Now, when somebody putting their foot down, they want to come in and cry foul. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, you're right. And I seen a clip earlier. I wish I would have saved it. It was this guy. He was like an older ex-banger Hispanic guy, but he broke it down. Maybe you more familiar with this, Milo. They broke it down to where he was saying how California was purchased. You know, he basically said it was purchased. You know, California, the lands was purchased for $15 million. You know, so it wasn't stolen. Do that sound somewhat familiar to you?
But he talking about, first of all, there was a war over that land. It was the Mexican-American War. They conquered, they defeated the Mexicans. They went down, and they were thinking at that time should we hold on to all of Mexico? Turn this into a slave colony. You know how they were thinking. But they say, no, we're just going to take these territories here because they fell in line with manifest destiny for the United States to be from one coast to the other coast, from Atlantic to the Pacific. And they didn't have to, but they paid them reparations, the spoils of war. And the Mexican government accepted it. And they were paid, they were compensated for the land that they lost in a war, just like the United States, 13 colonies beat the British. This was British territory at one point. They lost their land in the war. So their way is to trying to conquer. They have AZTLAN, the Azad Line movement. They said we could take back Mexico without firing a shot. This flooding with our people, legally or illegally. And for the past few years, it's mainly been illegally. But no, they lost fair and square, and they were compensated. That was just the spoils of war. Mexico wasn't on it. That was Spanish territory. They had defeated the Spanish and took their land, and then it became Mexico. So a lot of that land that they said was Mexican land, it was actually New Spain. From Texas all the way over to West California, going up to Utah. That was New Spain. It was only Mexico, not even 30 years. They had to beat the Spanish. So it ain't like it had forever been Mexican land. That was New Spanish territory.
Yeah, well, he had broke it down, man. He was saying something like, he said that he was Mexican. He said, I'm a proud Mexican, but I'm gonna keep it real. He said, this land was, sold for $15 million. And he I'm gonna post a video on the West of the 110 Facebook, but it was just something interesting. He broke it down. He said the Native Americans were here before the Spaniards. You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about stolen land and somebody stole land, he said, "Oh, bullshit. How can you steal something that was purchased? Yeah, maybe the price may not be a price that you think was enough for it, but hey, it was a price that was paid, and that's the price that was asked, and that's what was paid."
It is trying to use excuses to justify what they're currently doing in their current move. We are not against Mexicans. Let me put that out there. We are not against Hispanics.
At all.
Every country have a right to define and protect its borders. And if a country doesn't do that, it's not a country. In Mexico, they protect their southern border from the Guatemalans. They expel Guatemalans and they catch them, they deport them, they lock them up, and others from Central America. So you can do that in Mexico, but we can't do that here. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're right. And also shout out to everybody who has celebrated Juneteenth. It was a peaceful Juneteenth for the most part that we know of in Los Angeles. I do have a clip I want y'all to see. This was a clip that was sent to me on TikTok. Apparently, you had an older Hispanic couple show up to a Juneteenth event, with a Mexico flag, and the event had Black and Hispanic people there. So, just watch the video real quick. This is a short clip. Check it out.
Y'all see these folks right here? Yeah. So they got kicked out the function trying to pull up to a Juneteenth event with a Mexican flag. They got turned right the fuck around by their own people at that. That is the funniest. Terrible. We can't have shit.
So the young lady who sent me this, she didn't want her name out there, but she sent me it on TikTok. She's Black and Mexican, and she said she found it funny because she was at that event and said that they saw people coming up and say no discrimination. She said it was a few people there, like they had some kind of boundary security, people checking things, and said that they politely told them, look, this is a Juneteenth celebration event, and these were the Hispanic people there, telling them that it wasn't even the Black people.
It's disrespectful. You can't turn an event into what you want it to be. If you come to celebrate with us, that's fine. We love it. We accept everybody in our community. But it seemed they came with an agenda. They were being arrogant, bull-headed, really just to cause confusion and make a point.
And I get it. You show up to a crowd where there's numbers and, like media phones around, you got a cause you want to prove. But I said, you got to also think too. Now, like, I just I'm happy the crowd that they showed up to were an older, mature, level-headed crowd. Because if that would have been some young knuckleheads, it could have been a different. It would have went a different way, probably.
Yeah, it could have went left. You know, it's like I come to your house. I'll come visit you tomorrow. And I'm like, man, I don't like the way his couch situated. I don't like the way his coffee table situated. And I start rearranging your furniture. You can't go to somebody's house as a guest and start rearranging the furniture.
Not last time I checked. Yeah, man. Well, hey, what up, Russ, man? You know, like I say, the political issue, it seems to be, it's not over yet. We trying to wait a few hours to see is this ceasefire gonna really go through. It'll be beneficial on all ends, but I say if they do come up with a ceasefire, you know, Iran could still possibly close that strait where that oil comes through and affect a lot of the world. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can have a ceasefire, but we still like you say, cool daddy. Sometimes, you know, wars by other means.
They could shut down our economy. They could defeat us without even finding a shot at us. Exactly. I think 30 to 40% of the oil passed right in front of that narrow strait. And on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula, Yemen did it. The Houthis did it, you know, in the Red Sea. They shut down all transportation. So Iran is much stronger, much bigger. And they could shut that down. They have a right. They are a sovereign nation. They have a right to a civilian nuclear program. If they had a bomb, America wouldn't be bombing them. Think about that. America, our foreign policy, we like a 12th grader who only fights second graders. You know, we like to fight weak nations. Iran is really not a weak nation. They're not talking about sending boots on the ground or soldiers in. They're not doing that because it will be a lot of American soldiers coming home in body bags. They really need to leave them alone. But they doing the bidding of Israel, or Israel's doing the bidding of them. You know, Israel's their proxy. Look at it this way. Israel is a white nation in the Middle East surrounded by Arabs who's sitting on a sea of oil. You understand me? So it's like a fort. It's like a base more than it is a nation, a launch pad to bully and control these Arabs and Muslims who's sitting on this oil. And it was a classified document that came out in the early 2000s where America said they was going to take out 7 nations, and they did. They took out Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria. And the last one standing, the last one who won't just let them rape them and take their resources is Iran. So they making up all these different excuses. They this, they that, they the devil, you know, they terror. But it's the old game. Colonizers still being colonizers. At one point, they made up real good excuses to come grab our black ass. We was the resource at that point. It just is just, we falling for weapons of mass destruction 2.0. Remember they gave us that to go in with Iraq? Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. We still ain't found it. They just need a pretext to go to war, you know? And so what they did, they used Israel to bust Iran in the face. Like you in school, somebody just bust you in the face. Then everybody say, you better not hit them back. You better not hit them back. Come on now, man. You know, the world don't work that way. But if you don't know history, you don't study international affairs, you don't know the history of that region, if you're trying to gain history from a few sound bites from CNN, you'll be confused every time.
Well, see, some people still live by that old myth. I'm not gonna do nothing until it's basically hit me right in the head, and at that point, it's too late. You know, some people got to really get in there and start paying more attention to a lot of stuff that's going on. You know, because a lot of this stuff that's going on, it can't affect you. Some people feel like they haven't been affected by stuff in the past. Don't mean something that won't happen in the future won't affect you.
First of all, the past is always current in your mind. Number 2, say Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz. That's the name of the strait. It's called the Strait of Hormuz. If they shut it down within 7 to 10 days, our gasoline will be $20 to $30 a gallon. Now think about how that will affect our daily lives. It would cripple the economy. Diesel prices gonna go up 4 or 5 times. Everything you buy at the supermarket get there by diesel. Everything you buy at Walmart, wherever store you go to, it gets there by diesel truck. If the cost of bringing the products to you goes up, then the cost of them selling you the products are going to go up. So not only will gas go up to $20, $30 a gallon, eggs go up, meat go up, t-shirts go up, drawers go up, toilet, you know what I'm saying? Anything you buy is about to go sky high. And how would that affect a country that's already in economic despair? It's going to make more and more people desperate. Desperate people do desperate things. You're going to have more kickdos, more robbers. It's going to destabilize society, all because these traditional colonial forces want to rob these people they are, and it ain't going to affect the billionaires, the ones who behind the scenes. Man, Trump a puppet. And this is not partisan. Some people say, the Republicans, Trump, you shouldn't have voted for him. No, let's look at this. This has been going on no matter who the president was. Obama the one took out Gaddafi in Libya. You understand me?
Yeah.
We've been at war through Democratic and Republican presidents. It's the people behind the president who making these moves. And Biden handed this over to Trump. Iran is not only one of the last nations standing up for their oil, they also one of the only Muslim nations that was standing up for the Palestinians being bombed in Gaza and the West Bank that Israel been killing for 20 months. You see, they were financed to give arms to Hamas to stand up. And this is a result of that. They say, Iran, you in the way. We don't need no Muslim to be able to stand up to us. We could kill and genocide who we want, you see. And Biden gave Israel is just like Ukraine. We give them billions of dollars every year. They got free healthcare, free college. We ain't got that. We give them all the weapons that they use. They don't manufacture weapons. We give them their bombs, their planes, their bullets, their uniforms, everything. They could not bomb people. They could not kill Arabs or none of that. Palestinians. If we would give them the weapons and stuff to do it, they really are acting on behalf of the American empire. I love my country. I think America the greatest country on earth. But this is empire. This ain't got nothing to do here. This empire. They got their tentacles across the world, meddling in people's daily affairs. And when they get upset for America messing with them, we call them terrorists. When they fight back, they are a rogue nation. They really just defending themselves, if you really look at it. And if you know how Iran got here, they had 1953. They had a president by the name of Mossadegh, Democratic elected president. It had been a former British colony and British Petroleum. I hear some noise. Yeah.
Hey, Russ.
And if British Petroleum was taking all the oil out of Iran. So they stand on top of one of the largest pools of oil on earth, but they couldn't spend none of the money. All the profits were going to British Petroleum. And so when they elected him, they finally got the British out of there, but the British still control their oil. He said, no, I'm nationalizing my oil. The profit's going to stay here. We're not going to be poor while you living good, house the hog off of our oil. So he nationalized the oil, started improving the life of the everyday Iranian citizen. They overthrew him. The CIA, along with the British Secret Service, they went in and killed him and overthrew him. And they installed the Shah, made him the king of Iran. He was horrible. He was a dictator. America say they don't like dictators. They really do. They got family dictatorships In United Arab Emirates, we like to go to Dubai. That's a dictatorship. Saudi Arabia, that's a dictatorship. Bahrain, that's a dictatorship. Qatar or Qatar, these are all family dictatorships, but they our dictators. So they start one of our dictators in Iran from the 50s. He lasted all the way to 1979 with Iranian Revolution. They got tired of that bull. They overthrew him and they installed Ayatollah Khomeini. And so America been hating them ever since because they can't steal their oil from them no more. And so they've been demonizing them, saying they terrorists, woo, woo, woo. But it's all because they want to control their own resources. We got a similar situation going on in Africa right now in Burkina Faso with Traore. They kicked the franchise, say, no, we go, our gold, our uranium, the profits go stay here in Africa. We hate these type of people. So if you listen to the news, you'll think these are the most evil people on earth. But if you really pay attention to what's happening, they trying to elevate the living standards of the people in their country. I know I'm rambling, but I be having a burst. Excuse me.
No, you good, man. You good. Like I say, man, this just a lot of stuff that's going on. I mean, like I said, you got a lot of sides to a lot of things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Federally, locally, state, whatever, But like I say, it's just coincidental. These issues are going on at the same time. I mean, literally, like smack dab. You just, especially here in California, the raids have really jumped off, man. And I will say this. They magnify what they want because out here in California, they have been getting everybody: Hispanics, Asians, Jamaicans, Haitians, Belizeans. They've been attacking some of these. They talking about, they just attacking Hispanic gang. Remember, no, they going after some of these black gangs too because a lot of them guys are Central American also, but they got black skin.
Right, right.
A lot of these guys who from well-known blood and Crip gangs that we know of. I know one guy who said his relative who was a blood that got sent back to Belize. So that let me know that they are targeting everybody. But I say that to say this: what do y'all think about the people on the news who are saying like that these agents are being too aggressive when they go in to get people and people are running up to them in their face and stuff like that? And you see on the news like they pushing people back and sometimes they getting rough. Like, do you think they got a case for like them being too aggressive?
Well, I mean, overall, it's gonna be a case by case thing. I would speculate that you can't make a generalization that all the agents are being, acting overly aggressive, but I'm sure there are some who will take that opportunity to do so. So you just have to kind of look at it in a case by case.
Well, I mean, overall is how I say it's I don't know, man. I mean, if you interfere with any, I mean, cool daddy, when the correctional field for a while, if you go into, detain somebody and an inmate try to interfere, will you be polite about it or what?
No, they're gonna beat their ass, spray them, and do all type of stuff. But see, the climate is different from state to state. You're really seeing that in California and on the East Coast, where the government officials are dominated by liberals. You're not seeing them run up on officers in Texas like that, or in traditional red states, because we don't have a hands-off policy. The liberals want to have a hands-off policy, want to coddle them. And how are you gonna coddle somebody? Man, they were throwing big chunks of bricks, I seen, through the windows of them California highway patrol cars and different things like that. Big chunks of rock, cement. You could kill somebody with that shit. That ain't protesting. You understand me? And when they run up on them, I'm surprised and none of them got shot yet. To be honest with you, I ain't wishing that on nobody, but they pretty aggressive. They bringing that on themselves. Now, yeah, that's crazy, man. It's like they ain't got no crowd control. When they see ICE agents, they pounce on them. it's only a matter of time for somebody to get killed. But also, what the ICE people were saying, if the local jails cooperated with them, they really wanted just to arrest the people initially from out of the jails. A foreigner who got an ICE detain on them, but the governor, Newsom, and all them, they didn't want to cooperate with the feds. So now they got to go into the community more than they would have. So it's kind of thrown off. You hate to see people getting beat up, but I don't know. It's getting wild out there.
I think that's an excuse, though. Saying
what kind?
Initially, they did say they were going to just go after the people in jail, but I think they already had intentions on hitting these people, hitting the workplaces, hitting homes, but they just had to frame it in a way in which it wouldn't be offensive to everybody and put everybody on notice. Once we get the green light, we can do what we want to do. People are already supporting the action, but I think that was in their plans from the beginning.
Yeah. You could be right. On a side note, real quick, got a little news break. Amazon tells thousands of employees to relocate or resign. So I mean, y'all know people at Amazon. Y'all tell them to look up on that. Y'all holler at them. Maybe some stuff going on. But like back to what you were saying. Yeah, you might be right, Russ. I mean, yeah, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, the government don't usually tell you their full intentions. They're going to tell you a frame in a way that you think is acceptable, or it might be even in your interest. But in reality, it's not. The government is famous for that. That's their, that's their first move.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, though? It's crazy y'all speaking, saying that, and also, too, Cool Daddy, what you brought up about them not want to cooperate with each other. So it's some people may say, so maybe this could be a reason why it's leading them to go to these drastic measures. I got a little minute clip right here. I want y'all to check this out because it's crazy we brought this up. This is something pertaining to what we're talking about. This could possibly be a reaction for them not cooperating and saying, so we got to go to drastic measures like this.
They're coming! Hey, you better go. Y'all better go ahead. Hey, sorry. Motherfuckers. Look. He looking in the fucking bed. That white dude. That fucking bed. Yeah. Where do I go? Hey, they look yeah. Turn around. You're gonna have to turn around. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Let me see. Back room? Yeah. Go. Pero si no. Bueno. Shit. Derecho. Okay. Perdón, no sabe. Allá. Yes, and the big one. I'll be in the bed with the river guys. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let's get the fuck in. Yes. Good. Wait, no way! No. I can't see the light. I can't see.
So that video or clip was pertaining to what you were saying, Cool Daddy. They wanted to get the people in prison. They want to cooperate. So now they in some places they got to go to measures like that. Then they out there chasing people. All right, you don't want to let us get the people that you should be letting us take. We finna do this. And it's kind of messed up because in California they say confirmed. I don't know if it's true or not. So I'm gonna say alleged 16 people who are citizens that they have arrested. So I don't know if that's true or not, because if they are citizens, I don't know why they're arrested. But
also look at that video. Look what they were arresting at. They selling us the story that these poor migrants, illegal migrants working in the fields. No, that was at a construction site. In Texas, construction jobs pay well. They pay $30 to $40 an hour starting off. Out here in the oil refineries and stuff. So they are not getting jobs that Americans won't work, because they'll sell that to you. Well, we need them here, but these are jobs nobody else work. That is not true. In fact, once they dominate a construction crew, they tend not to hire Black folk. I know from my personal experience with people in my family, they go put in a job at these construction places. Once they let them in HR too, they have Hispanic ladies in HR because they want them to be bilingual. When they go apply, they done found out they were throwing their applications in the trash, man. You know, they try to dominate. They not coming here to join forces with us. They come in here for their own benefit, which is cool. But you know, we do for our own benefit also. So I don't agree with that. What they just here working jobs, nobody else want to work. That video right there show you those are lucrative jobs. They're paying $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year that the illegal suckers got. And I know tons of black people who would work them jobs. We traditionally used to work, even poor white guys, you know, but now they're being dominated by illegal immigrants.
Yeah. Some people don't want to admit that. Like I tell a lot of people, it's not hate. This is not coming from a place of hate or anything like that. We're just speaking about some facts that are going on, and which is true. A lot of these jobs are not employing black people once they get in. I'm not saying it's just Hispanics. Hell, I knew this one spot where it was a bunch of Filipino cats that all got in and shit. You thought they hired a black? Hell no. Shit. But you know, what's up, Don, man? What's the word?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Not much, man. What you think about this, man? You know what I'm saying? How's this rhetoric going on, and how's this BS political streets and everything? And before I go into that, can't forget about the local shit, like LA stuff. You know, in the summertime, the gang activity heats up. You know, that's something else we got to watch out for in the hoods. You know, we watching out what's going on in the local government, the federal government. We got to watch on with the street politics. You know, and
that don't change.
And it, you hate to say that, and that's something that should change. Because I'm gonna just say it. Hey, you know, I don't use the N word a lot, but ain't niggas tired of that? Like shouldn't they be tired of gang banging and you know, spending all this time on extracurricular activity that's not beneficial, but just causing destruction? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking here in my city. Not saying, you know, I can't speak for where it's going on everywhere else, but I know they got gang activity everywhere. But like, just imagine if everybody in their community built it up. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere was Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Real talk. No doubt about that, my brother.
So I like how Houston get down though, because I remember the North and the South was beefing hard. They squashed that beef back in the day, and shit, they've been brothers ever since. You know what I'm saying? We had a peace treaty here in LA back in the 90s after the Rodney King thing and all that, but that broke in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know, when you look at it, you know, overall, I mean, people forget that, you know, everything that transpired over all those years and all this conflict, it actually was instigated by Mr. Charlie. He was smart enough to pit everybody against each other. And then what he do to help escalate things? Well, you know, these niggas just don't got enough guns and ammos to keep it going, so we're gonna assist them. You know, we need the railroad to start parking their train in the black neighborhood, filled with guns, filled with ammo, and give them a little push.
Hey, Don, speaking of that, I don't know if y'all remember that. Well, I know that was a California thing where they allegedly dropped off boxes of weapons in the hood. Have y'all heard about stories of that back in the 80s, 90s?
It wasn't allegedly. That was factual.
Look, they dropping off cocaine, so why aren't they dropping off weapons?
It wasn't alleged.
I don't mean no harm. Somebody right now probably like, I wish they would drop me off a ball.
Well, look, they dropping off the tons. Hell, they flooded the black neighborhood with drugs during the early 80s. You know, there's no black people flying planes. How do you think tons of weight get into the United States?
Yeah, the White House was selling dope. They got caught. That whole Iran Contra affair. They would bring guns down there to Nicaragua and come back with a plane load of dope, landing at U.S. military bases, and then being dispersed in the hood. That was proven. You know, that's what Freeway Rick Ross got caught up in.
Yep. So it's not a far-fetched idea to believe that they drop off weapons to whatever it is to, you know, accomplish their goal. It's probably to wipe us out and keep us incarcerated. As long as we killing each other, it's cool.
And that's what's going on in the Middle East. I hate to switch subject. What you see is the Western / traditional European / white world losing their grip on power. You know, their empire is crumbling. The last major Western empire was the British Empire. It died with all the destruction during World War II. At one point, they said the sun never set on the British Empire. They controlled many parts of Africa, India, Asia, Caribbean, Jamaica. World War II, they lost so much money and so much death, they had to give up their grip holding these people around the world. So they passed the baton to the white nation that was left standing, the United States. But they all still click up. That's why you got NATO, the G7. They all still, that's groups of colonizers. And so how dare these Muslims want to keep their own resources? You know what I'm saying? How dare these Africans? So they still doing the same thing. You know, they just switched the name of it, you know, but it's still under the same principle. There's certain constants in history that never change. No matter what they say they doing, look at what's constantly happening. Why these same group of people are the only ones getting money? I thought we supposed to have liberalism, democracy. Why these same group of people going around robbing? I thought we supposed to have liberalism, democracy. That's what they sell us.
Yeah. And like I say, you know, people just gotta wake up all the way. You know, you got some people that are woke at the moment or woke about certain things, man. You gotta be woke in general. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's a lot of shit that people don't know, and there's a lot of shit that people need to know. It's a lot of shit that's going on right now, and people don't know why it's going on. But on another note, man, like I got a question for all y'all, man. Like, this is a question pertaining to like I know we were talking about the border, but they've been sweeping, doing roundups everywhere around the United States. Do you feel they should attack some of these employers who knowingly employed people they know they shouldn't have?
I mean, yeah, that would make sense, but that would also, I guess, go against what some of their core values there, because America lies. They'll tell you, oh, we want to fix this problem, but they're going to do whatever it takes to make the most profit. And hiring these illegal immigrants is what it takes for them to make the most profit.
I agree with that 100%. That's true. Because since they can't have slave labor, you know, where you don't pay nobody to work, you just make them work. They want to get as close as they can to slave labor, which is cheap labor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's like I say, and like you said before, a lot of people think it come from hate. It's not hate. It's no hate at all, but it's just realistically thinking here in America. Like, you've been working hard for 20, 30, 40 years, man. You still got some people on the clock today that's probably been working 50 years and don't plan on retiring soon because they can't. Now, and then you know people, especially here in LA, you know, we know that for a fact. It's people here illegal that's shit living like kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, wow, you know, you ain't hating on nobody. Like I said, I don't blame the people. I blame the government for allowing the shit, because you in California, you put in place programs for people who aren't supposed to be here. So you're going to encourage them to come. Like say 50% of illegal immigrants come to California, if I'm not mistaken. So
50% of all illegal immigrants wind up in California.
And that's not talking about. I think I spoke to all you brothers before about this personally. Like that's not talking about the amount of people who milk our system here who live in other states. I'm talking about citizens who live in some of these Midwest and Southern states, even some of these East Coast, Southeast states, who come all the way to California. Because once you get an address here, you can get on our government assistance systems and shit. Depending on your situation, if you got a numerous amount of children, or if you was a vet, or if you're old and sick, man, you might live like a king. They might give you $1,200 cash and a bunch of stamps on your card. Now you getting that money, but you living in Arkansas or something. You see what I'm saying? We got people milking California like it ain't nothing. And it's not just, it hasn't just started. It's been going on for a while. California been getting milked by, I ain't gonna blame just illegal immigrants. It's been getting milked by citizens too. Shit.
That's a way of social engineering. Like when they came through it in the late 50s and 60s to give us benefits, social services. Then the B. Johnson's Great Society, welfare, Section 8 and all that. When they gave those benefits to rural communities, to poor whites in the farms, they didn't tell the white woman, the only way you get this money and these benefits is if you get rid of your white husband. They didn't tell them that. They let them get the same benefits that the black woman in the inner city was getting, but they told the black woman, look, you can't have a man in the house to receive these benefits. So you creating society, you social engineering for it to have certain effects, like rats in a maze. If you don't have a husband, you understand you're gonna have no man in the household. Your kids 9 times out of 10 won't be educated properly because of the stress of living in that household. They're gonna grow up wild. You could lock them up, and you could backdoor get slave labor through the prison system, or you feeding the police. You understand what I'm saying? They doing it intentionally, but they do it with a smile. We'll think that the liberals love us, but they programs really done set us back more than the growling conservatives, because they were dangling carrots in front of us, and we thought we were winning, but we were losing, because what we had to give up to get them benefits that they were dangling and social services they were dangling us, we gave up our structure, nuclear family, our extended family, all type of stuff.
Yeah, you're right. And like I always go back to some shit you said before, man. Like it's funny, not talking about my black women. We all love black women. We all have children by black women. So I'm saying this. It's funny how black women say we are their oppressors when we were being oppressed. I always found that funny myself. But like I say, man, like I say, it's scorching motherfucking streets and scorching politics, man. That's all. That's what's going on, and I mean, it's like I say, it's coincidentally everything is happening in the dead heat of the summer. Like summer just started the other day, and like I say, man, a lot of things have been going on. Rest in peace to my grandmother. Her birthday was yesterday. I know she had a cup of Seagram's gin up there. I still don't know how she drank that shit, but
rest in peace. Much love always. My grandmother used to drink Jack Black, and she used to cut it with water.
What water? I remember that because I remember my grandma saying that she put a little. There she go putting water in that cup.
Yeah, they brought that from Louisiana, Jack Green label and Black label,
Man, that's crazy, man. And you know what's so crazy, man? Like I was telling my, off subject real quick. I was telling my wife earlier. I said, man, we need a family reunion. And she was like, well, why don't you just put one together? I said, shit, I never thought about that. Like that. I said, that's something we need, man. I'm gonna come up with a hell of a commercial, man, to advertise it, man. I'm gonna show y'all first before I put it on social media. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be some crazy shit, because I got a lot of venues and partners out here. I got some favors I need to call in too, man. get some shit going, man. I would love for people to come out to LA, or I got a second venue in San Antonio. So
that's fine. You do it like a year, give like a year notice. We could gather a lot of us up, because I know our family in Alexandria always asks, why don't we get together? Ain't Bessie children.
Yeah.
So yeah, they I done spoke to them a few times.
Yeah, man, that's something we could do. I was already thinking of something like summer of 2027. Somewhere around that time, or not like, or if not summer, like fall, like October area, because that's normally neutral down south and the west. The weather ain't too bad. It's kind of mild.
Right.
But yeah, man, like I said, that's just a side note. We'll talk about that. But yeah, man, like I said, shit, man, we ain't gonna be here too long, man. We got about 5-6 more minutes, man. But like I said, man,
hold up, I know this all off the subject, but why the hell? I'm a diehard Rockets fan. I've been one since Sleepy Floyd and them. Why they KD gave up all them people for Durant, man? I like KD, but they gave up some young talent for Durant. They remind me of when they gave up all them good players for Barkley. They gave up what I'm talking about, Russ. Who all the people they gave up for Barkley back in the day?
They give up Cedric Maxwell for him.
Not Vernon Maxwell. You talking about
Maxwell, yeah. Sam Cassell. It was like 4 people they gave up for Barkley.
Cassell, that's what I'm thinking about. Ball-headed Cassell.
Now they doing that thing all over again. That kind of bothered me. I ain't gonna lie.
They gave away Dylan and Jalen Green and a whole bunch of first round pick and a whole bunch of second round picks.
Yeah, but like 5-6 second round pick. That's damn near giving up your whole future for this man who gonna play 1-2 more years.
Well, I wonder how Jalen Green's baby mama feel about that. Sorry to cut you off, Russ. No, I'm just saying, she got to leave H-Town to go to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? That's the dry heat.
The chicks don't stop. Shit. Let's go, baby.
She put videos up of him taking on shopping sprees in the Galleria. She ain't tripping.
Well, shit. I put it to you like this. He'll be a Laker sooner or later. He getting closer and closer to the West Coast eventually. He gonna go to Phoenix. And now if Devin Booker and Bradley Beal I tell you the truth, that's just my opinion. I don't think they like playing with KD too much. That's just my opinion. So I think that Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks will fit in well.
Say, Russ, you think that KD thing gonna work out good?
I mean, I don't know, man. I really can't even comment to tell you the truth. So they're gonna have to time manage his ass because he ain't gonna be able to put up too many minutes.
Right.
And so they're gonna kind of have to save his ass for crunch time and shit, emergency moments and shit, and they just need that big shot. Because that's really what they lack. They got a good young core of teams, but they had nobody who they could depend on to take the big shots. Jalen Green was just too flaky. Some days
that's true.
Might score 38 points this game, and the next 3 games, this motherfucker will disappear.
That's true.
Consistency. Well, really, I'm more upset about getting with Dylan than I am the Jalen Green because he had that dog in him. Shit, Dylan Brooks. And I think he brought that.
Yeah, he had some good defense too.
Yeah, right. He had that dog in him, so he brought that mindset to the team too. So I hope they can replace that. But they'll get past Jalen Green, I believe.
Well, it's a marketing day for the Rockets because KD playing for the Texas Longhorns. Basically, he coming home to Texas, being at the Rockets towards the end of his career. I always thought he would probably, probably not now. I was probably saying if OKC didn't win a ring, he probably would go back there. But now they did. He like, nah, I'm gonna go somewhere else, and they got a good core there. KD got a good year or 2 left in him. I feel he could still come up there and if he can stay healthy, play at least 55 games, drop 22 points a game, he'll be all right. And the Rockets, they'll be back up there because they were second place in the West, but I guess that's why they made them changes, because they feel like we were number 2 and we didn't go further than what we did.
Hey, but can KD stay healthy?
I mean, he should. He ain't married, got no kids, he ain't got no stress in his life. Shit, I know the man ain't got no stress in his life. I mean, shit, he don't comb his hair, put no lotion on or nothing. So he like shit. I just wake up and do me.
Yeah, but he always getting injured.
He's 37, shit. He on the wrong side of 30.
Hopefully they pick up a couple of cheap vets to help him out, hopefully.
Hell,
get some of them pull-away vets.
LeBron is a lot older than he is.
Yeah, but LeBron spending $2 million allegedly a year on his body for recovery and all that shit. These guys ain't doing that. They don't make that much money to spend $2 million on their body alone.
He can spend $2 million a year.
Yeah, KD can. KD can.
Hey, but y'all saw those pictures if they was real on social media. Hey, that dude don't want to buy no Vaseline for his legs. You really think he gonna spend $2 million? Like, come on, bro, $2 million on my body? Nigga, I don't raise my legs up. I'm gonna spend $2 million on my body?
Oh shit! Damn it!
Like, for real though, man. But real talk, something that I think I spoke with Don about earlier, man, and it's about, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it is. I read most of it. But I'm still gonna say for now, allegedly, Target is teaming up with the Black Church Coalition, that's in charge, oversees the 31,000 Christian churches in USA or something like that. So I guess they're teaming up with Target to do some kind of brand marketing or whatever, but I guess Target is making a $300,000 donation allegedly to this organization. But the numbers was broke down. Even Roland Martin himself, he got a video out, he broke it down. He said 31,000 churches that they oversee, they got a $300,000 donation. So if you do the math, that's easy math. Break it down. He said these churches don't get no more than $9 and some change a piece. So what is their agenda hooking up with the Black Church Coalition, knowing that black people are boycotting Target due to DEI?
They buying favor from the leadership or whatever group that is. That ain't gonna do nothing for us. But the leadership of that group about to get broke off.
Pretty much. And he gonna get the bulk of the money. Probably 300,000. The change go to them other little churches. 50 cents a piece. Yeah, that's scandalous. Sell out.
And they gonna take it. I mean, allegedly, they gonna take it. But really, like, all BS aside, what do you think that hidden agenda is really about?
They been getting a lot of flack from the church talking about pro boycott them and all that, so that's they were trying to shut them up. And them fried chicken eating preachers pork chop eating preachers gonna take that, It ain't gonna help us. That's not even a blip on the radar screen, man.
And the cold part about it, their followers gonna get right in line and say, okay, everything's cool now. They didn't even have to put that there. Shoot, niggas still run back to damn Target. It ain't like they stopped. You had a few, but hell, the vast majority of them, they all in Walmart. They all in Target. Everywhere they ain't supposed to be, they are.
Well, look, I got it right here, man. It says Target is reportedly teaming up with several black churches or black-led faith-based organizations. These collaborations may include community investments, scholarships, school supply drives, or job fairs hosted at churches. But on a side note, some people may say, why does it matter? Because churches have deep roots in the black community. They're more than just a place of worship. They're a hub for political mobilization, economic support, and cultural identity. So Target may be leveraging this trust to counter criticism or expand in urban areas. What do you think about that?
Well, you said it best when you came out with it. When you said $9 a piece. But think about it. You're talking about millions of black people. Where's 350,000? Even if it was $400,000, how much is that going to help 25 million, 30 million black people?
It's not. It's not. Hey, Russ, cool, Daddy. Let me ask y'all this. So, is this partnership empowering, or or is it exploitive?
John Leonard Orr. Who's that? He's a California fire captain who set about 2,000 fires. Same deal. 10 lit cigarettes and a few matches.
And they went to sleep, country.
Say some good press. That's all. They pacifying people. They making it seem like they're doing something, but in reality, they're doing nothing.
So should the churches take cooperative money if it means helping their communities?
They shouldn't, but they will.
It don't even matter, man. That's some bullshit, They just trying to stop the pressure that they receiving from them preachers. They buying their cooperation. It ain't gonna do nothing for us.
The cool part about it, that's cheap cooperation. Those preachers make millions of dollars. So that's
they bought them off cheap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, clearly, it's like, it's a PR stunt, honestly. It's like to regain some favor. I mean, basically without any kind of like systemic change.
The trillions that we spend in the economy, if they gave the church 30 million, that shit would have been cheap.
Yeah. Real talk. Whenever a nigga got $5, he run to the store to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, man. They run right to the store, man. But shit, hey, that's wild, man. But that's just something that came up earlier. I thought was pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? I thought that shit was like, I thought I was like, wow, man, like, damn, man, people are still like, and they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just crazy. They say they know the heavy protesters have been black people for Target, and all of a sudden they go right to the black worship. They so-called say leadership. Let me give them a few bucks and tell them they people to come on back.
I have to bow out gracefully, fellas. My lamb chops are done. Inner fat boy meat, outside fat boy meat kicked in.
Man, we appreciate
y'all have a good evening.
Hey, cool, Daddy, man. We appreciate you for coming through, man. Hey, why don't you tell them something before you get out of here real quick?
Ain't nothing much, man. Don't accept no wooden nickels. We learn every day, so just keep learning. You learn till you die. We ain't never got to figure it out, but keep trying to figure it out. I love y'all, brothers. Have a good evening. Peace.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. They Target even announced that all the money they were losing since the blacks stopped dealing with them. You know what I mean? So, and then a lot of Latin stopped dealing with them too. So you combine them both, they crying, they hurting.
Yeah.
They hurting. They to the point now where they don't get it together, they gonna be on that 99-cent store list.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. You're right, man. But like I say, man, shit, we ain't gonna be out here too long, man. Hey, Russ, man, why don't you go ahead and spit a little knowledge before we get out of here, man?
Oh man, I wish I had knowledge now. Everybody, stay out of trouble, man, and shit. Stay up on the current events, and don't fall for the distraction.
That's what's up, man. Hey, Don, man, why don't you go ahead, man? Give them some news they could use from the vision from the pew.
You funny. Hey, only little thing I got right now is, it ain't got no better. And you looking towards the future, we'll see if it does get better. But all I can say is, you know what? Keep your heart, mind strong. Always have faith, and always watch your back, because there's some wicked things that's about to start. Don't get caught up in it. People are gonna try to drag you into this, drag you into that. There's gonna be a reason for this and a reason for that. But use your common sense that you was born with, don't even fall for it. Don't fall for that. The old okey doke and get crossed up. There's been too many people that got crossed up and they never got crossed up in their life again because they're not here. So don't let nobody wiggle you into something that you're gonna regret. Check that.
You're right, man. Before we go, man, I gotta play this clip from our sponsor, the Stringfellow Taylor and Associates down in Texas, man. If y'all need an attorney in Houston, y'all holler at them because the summer's coming up. A lot of people get aggravated in the heat, and you don't want to be caught up in a situation like this.
You're in traffic, you're at a red light, you get an unexpected ass kicking, road rage at its best. You need legal advice and action. Call us now, Stringfellow Taylor and Associates at 888-777-LEGAL.
Hey, that look like you, E.
Hey, man, real quick, I got something else I wanted to show y'all before we get out of here. Real quick, check it out. It's real quick.
And what was that? It was that Iran shooting at Israel or vice versa?
This was Iran. Thanks to the courtesy of the video of Latinus_US. This is the video supposedly of Iran reacting to Israel with those supersonic missiles or something like that. They say once you see them, it's too late because once you see the dot, it's on you.
Yeah.
So, you know, this was something going to what we were talking about earlier, the ceasefire. I hope it does because I hope it happens because you don't need this over there, man. And people are gonna get hurt, man. Like I say, man, like do I want people to ask themselves this: do you think the world won't rotate if everybody was at peace or something?
Hey, is it true that they said that with that war, that the gas was gonna go up exponentially, like about $6 or $7? That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all the agenda.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that. They want everybody to be on e-bikes, and you know, why do you any coincidental? Just look at it. Why do you think look at Los Angeles? We just upgraded our train system where you connect from the airport to everywhere now, even going out further. So like it just, I mean, pay attention to the signs. Do I fault people? No, but people gotta, like I say, Sugar Free used to say it best. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Yeah, but you know, your boy, the Orange Man, he want to offset that because he said, "Drill, baby, drill."
Yeah, well, we know a few people right now drilling up in some people, and we ain't talking oil.
Oh man.
But yeah, man. Like I say, man, y'all. Hey, Russ, why don't you go ahead and get the people your number real quick, man? I know Mr. Charles. Thank you for tapping in like always, man. Like I said, hit me up on Facebook, man. I ain't hard to find. Y'all check me out, man. Also, too, man, y'all that like music, I got shit online, man. Just type my name. You know, that name you see right there. Type that in, and whatever you see, listen to it and buy it. But go ahead, Russ. Give them that number before we get up out of here.
Stringfellow Taylor, toll-free number 1-888-877-LEGAL. Give us a call if you need help.
And what area you in again?
We do personal injury, criminal, and probate, some civil matters. So if you've been
what's up, man.
injured, give us a call. Don't matter what state.
Y'all hear that? Don't matter what state, man. And you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, just the dog bites. Are y'all dealing with any kind of immigration law or stuff like that?
Yeah, we handle some immigration issues.
So is there anybody that needs some kind of consultation for immigration, you know, matters, you can reach out to in the Texas area or anywhere, reach out to the Stringfellow Taylor Associates. I don't know the number. Yeah, you listen to the name, type it in your Google. Shit. But like I say, man, it's west of the 110, man. Back again on Monday. We appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate Mr. Chuck for tapping in like always. like I say, man, this was a good show. If y'all didn't check the episode yesterday that dropped on the West Warrior Sunday interviews, I had the interview with Sarge. Shout out to Sarge, retired U.S. Marine Sergeant. He dropped some real knowledge. Hopefully he'll come back to the show. So anybody want to be a part of this show, you reach out to any social media platform. Let us know what you got going on. You want to be on, we could talk about it. But until next time, man, real talk don't end. Just take a break, man. I'll see y'all next week.
Hey.
What?
I want to say one more thing. Hey,
Go
Russ.
ahead.
Yeah.
Hey. I might be interested in a green card, man. Because you know, I'm from I was born and raised in Ghana.
Okay.
And I ain't officially, American citizen.
Oh shit! Look, give me a call. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. You give him your drunk ass. Give him a call, man. We'll holler at y'all later, man.